So, what am I doing here?
Hold on, wait a second here. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have a very, very special guest, Lauren here, and we're going to be discussing the Sauer P238. I'm going to show her and you how to take it apart and put it right back together. Alright, so first thing we've got to do is...
make sure it's not loaded.
There it is.
Ding, 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 ding,
Let's
ding.
check and make sure that this thing is unloaded. We first, of course, pull out the magazines before we deal with any of the firearms here for these videos. And the next thing we have to do is actually pull back on the slide, and we're going to lock it back. So, you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to face the gun the other way there. There we go. So you're taking your left hand, you're going to be pulling the slide back, and with this thumb right here, you're going to be pushing up on that slide lock release. So push all.
I push this first.
You're going to be pulling that all the way back. All the way. You got it. I know it's tough. There it goes. All the way further back, further back, further back. There it is. Now lift up on that tab. Locks it right into place. Just like that. So, then we check inside the barrel. Make sure that that's clear. Then we check inside the magazine well. And we make sure that all of that is unloaded.
That's this?
Yeah, all throughout there.
Looks good.
Cool. Okay, so now that that's done, we're actually going to have to change the grip, the way that we're holding the gun. And I'll show you real quick. What you're doing is you're going from this position here, and you're just bringing your hands over, and you're releasing that slide lock lever so you have control of that slide back and forth. You see that? I know it's crazy. So, but the idea is, what we want to have, I'll try to show you guys here, we want to have this little opening right here. See that?
Mm-hmm.
This part is going to sit just above, just like that, right? What we're doing is we're trying to line it up so that when I push from the other side, right there, this guy comes right out. So, just so the camera can see here, this little half circle shape right here on the top here, that is what's fitting in to that shape right there on the slide. It's very interesting. So, pulling straight back. I'll put this right back in so you can do it yourself, but you see how it just goes right in, just like so. Real easy. So you're pulling back until you reach that point right there, and then you're going to be pushing from the other side there with pressure. Okay. There you go, perfect. And you're going to push with your thumb and kind of bring your fingers back all the way to that point. There it is, right there. So then with the other hand, you got that little part right there that you're going to be pushing on. Good. You can always use a tool too. You can push a little bit with a tool if you want to do that.
You do it. Teamwork.
You do it? Okay. There you go. And then you're going to pull that out just like so. Once that's done, there's no tension on the slide itself. What you're going to do, grab it with your right hand. There you go. You grab the slide with your left hand. And you're just going to pull it straight off the top of the frame there, just like that. Right? Off it goes. Very easy. Perfect. So now we just have the frame sitting there, and then we've got our slide.
What's this thing called?
That is your slide lock, slide release lever, but in this function of what it also does, it's also called a takedown lever. So it kind of has two capacities with this firearm here. So what we got to do now, we have to take the guide rod and guide rod spring out from underneath the barrel. And the way that we do that, I cheat a little bit. I actually put pressure from the bottom of the barrel right here, and I'm going to push down. There you go. And then you're going to pinch with your other hand right here. This is the funny part. You're trying to grab the barrel itself. You want to grab the actual guide rod itself. Alright, so get that right back down in there. Oh my goodness, it got it all twisted. Alright, so what I'm talking about here, I'm going to be pushing on the bottom of the slide, right up like so. I'm actually taking my hands and I'm grabbing the spring and the guide rod, lifting up, and it comes right out just like that. Just like that, right? Oh, lovely.
I got it!
Yes, there we go. Good, good, good. Okay, so once that's done, All you have left is the barrel, and like in the other videos, yeah, you got it, just like that. That goes right out, right through the back end. Very, very simple. Now,
I can do that.
Yeah, that's it.
Without
So,
being told.
you've got your frame, you've got your slide, you've got your barrel, your guide rod spring, and what we talked about before. This guide rod spring setup, the spring is not captured, right? So it is not locked into place with tension. It is free to fly, so we want to be very careful when we're taking that apart so we don't poke out any eyes or hurt people that we care about, right?
Or dogs.
And then you got your slide lock, slide release lever, takedown lever, all that fun stuff right there. Now this little guy, this is actually one of my favorite guns. I've had this one for 8-9 years right now. It's been a good while. I like this because for my CCW, this is more of a gun that I would be wearing when I'm wearing like a tank top, board shorts kind of situation, not a big jacket or anything like that.
Board shorts?
I know, now it's very rare, right? And that would be a situation for this with not a whole lot of clothing on, or very light clothing, very thin clothing, that make it very hard to hide a larger gun.
So like beach wear.
Beach
CCW
wear,
at the beach.
CCW at the beach. Right.
Vacay.
Hey, you never know if a shark's going to come on land and needs to, is trying to get you, so you need to use something. But the one reason why I really do like this also, when we put it back together, I'll show you, it's very similar to one of my pretty much everyday carry firearms, a 1911 that I have. This is pretty much a clone of it, a baby clone. So I call it the mini-me of my actual everyday carry gun. So we'll put this back together. I'll show you the similarities between the two. You ready for it? You got this. That's it. You get it ready to go. All right. Barrel goes back into the slide the way you had it before.
So we put this in, right?
Yes, that goes in through the back end at an angle first, all the way down.
And then it locks, and we listen for the click.
Look at you. Awesome, exactly. You want to listen for that click. You want to make sure that that locks into place so that you do not have that barrel moving around.
This is dirty.
I know.
And this guy's got a little finger notch. No, not a finger. It's a barrel notch.
Barrel notch, I like that. That works. A barrel notch. So you want to make sure that this is going and touching the barrel. That is not facing up towards you. It is going to be facing down towards the barrel when you're putting it back together. Now, one of the major things here, when you're putting this guide rod spring back together, a lot of people will have the spring sometimes get through the front of this hole here. All right, so I want to make sure that you guys see this, because sometimes, just sometimes, they will have that spring go right through the front end, like so. That's when we know we've got some problems. So we want to try to avoid that as much as possible. And all that is just mastering the right angle to be putting that guide rod spring back in. So let's see if Lauren can do this here.
I'm a master. Even though this is my first time, pretty sure I got this. Oh,
I have a phone call.
phone call. So I push it.
Wow, is your finger okay?
Yeah.
Good.
It went right there.
Check the front
My
end.
hands are so dirty.
That's it. Yeah, you got that right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that we have all that together, we're going to put it back onto the frame.
A Viva hair.
Anyways, now that we're going to be putting that slide back on the frame, one thing that we have to make sure we focus on is this guy right here. I'm going to show you this part that goes down just like so. We're going to have to focus on that as we're putting back the slide.
So I put down little notch friend. Yeah? Is that right?
You want to put the slide on first.
Okay. And since it starts back here, we don't need to do it here.
Exactly. That's going to start right on the middle. You're going to break the gun. Right there. All the way back.
And I push it
you're
down?
gonna be pushing that down. Exactly. You're pushing that down, holding it down.
Hold it down still?
Yeah, just a little bit, just to make sure it goes in.
I think it can't push down.
Okay, can you get all the way back there? See, that's why right? That's why I want it to go all the way down and keep it held as long as we can. There we go, just like that. We don't want to lock it back just yet, because we got to get this part in there. So, From this point right here, we're going to be placing that lever right back into that hole that's right there in between the frame and the slide. Yep. Make sure everything is lined up as we put that back in.
So that goes.
There it is. So that's going to sit just like that. Good. And then you have that come back just right to that solid point right there. Goes right in. Just like that. You put it right back together. I know.
That's a lot more strength than I anticipated needing.
When you rack it a couple times, make sure it's good. Lock it back. See that it's fully functioning. And now we have an operating 238. Careful, it'll bite you.
It separates. It goes up.
You see that? That's something to talk about. I get this question a lot with smaller firearms. And you can see that the barrel angle is really kind of nose high. It's really pointing upward. The reason why that happens, the gun is not broken, mind you, okay? The reason why it happens, I want you to look right here at the top of the barrel, and then you'll look at the top of the slide. The second I start pulling back on the slide, watch what that barrel does. You see how it drops down? Mm-hmm. So the barrel dropping down and allowing the slide to go back, all that is doing is taking that barrel and bringing that angle back, just like so. Lifting the nose of that barrel, making it look like it's pointed up. Now, does that affect accuracy? Absolutely not, okay? What happens is that bullet gets fired. That bullet is long gone before any of this starts happening. So it does not affect the trajectory or the accuracy at all with that bullet that you're firing out of this little guy. So again, the only reason why this goes up, it's just making room right up top here, making room for that slide to be able to come back all the way.
And that, it comes back to shoot out the casing?
The casing goes flying off out of here, and as it goes forward again, it grabs the next round from the magazine, and it's ready to fire the next shot.
Bubbles are so much simpler.
Ah, yes, they are indeed. They are indeed. So, now I want to talk a little bit about this gun and why I love it so much. So, you can see this little fella, right, the way it looks. I've got carbon fiber grip, VZ grips on there, right, on either side, right, on a black gun. I like the look, kind of stealthy look. And then you've got my carry gun. Same thing, just a much larger platform, right? We've got carbon fiber grips. We've got a black gun, just like so. Big boy 1911, baby 1911, mini-me. So this model of the Sig Sauer P238 was a special edition run that they did. It was actually called the Fish Scale Edition. And the difference, the major difference between most other 238s is the slide serrations on the side. These are more or less fish scale or scaly serrations instead of the straight up and down normal cuts that you would see on 238s.
Well, thanks for showing me how to open
and close a gun. I've got a bull barrel 1911 as a carry gun, and that has a non-captured dual spring. So that's a lot of fun because taking that apart, one of the things you actually have to do is capture that spring by putting a paper clip in part of the guide rod. It's quite interesting. I use one of these little guys actually. They call this an STI Takedown tool. A lot of the STI firearms out of Texas, they use dual recoil non-captured springs. Yeah, one of these days I'll pull out my SIG 516. You guys will get a kick out of that. Of course, it's butchered California compliant wise, so I'll be getting a lot of comments on that, I bet.
And if you want to see more videos where I demonstrate,
we gotta buy you some more guns, like Nerf guns and stuff.
Yeah. Comment below and tell me what you want to see. A SIG, what are you called?
A little P238.
P238. The mini-me.
The mini-me. I really like it. So, yeah, guys, if you like that collaboration that Lauren and I did tonight, please hit that like button. Definitely let us know with some comments and feedback on if you like that video, and we can do more of those together. Show you fun ways to take apart different firearms.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.